My name is Curtis Brigham, and I am the head coach at Winnipeg Academy of Mixed Martial Arts. I'm a third-degree black belt in Brazilian Jiu Jitsu under my initial professor, who was Bob McRoberts, out of Winnipeg here. I also trained with Glenn Flamond over the years, who's been a staple of Winnipeg Jiu Jitsu since the beginning. I started training Jiu-Jitsu in 1996 at what was called the Asian Martial Arts Center. It was a karate gym owned by Bob McRoberts. He sort of saw the light and started learning Jiu-Jitsu and went to Brazil, spent some time there, came back and opened a Jiu-Jitsu club in his karate school. I started training when I was 15, and it was just for the experience. I just wanted to try something new. I had been fencing for a while before that, and the competitive scene wasn't that deep, and it was just time to try something new. And it was, I didn't know at the time, we had a big head start from a lot of the rest of North America, really. We had a very early program, and I just flipped into it. I remember my first few classes just never having really seen grappling before, just seeing limbs and not knowing whose limb was what out of the other pile of stuff. And it was confusing and difficult and really challenging. But the great thing about Jiu-Jitsu, especially if you roll a lot from the beginning, is the trial and error of it over the course of a few weeks and a few months, things started making sense. And it's not that you started winning or doing great, but all of a sudden things made sense, and you can sort of track your own progress and see, I might be getting tapped every day, but I can see it coming now, or I might know why. Jiu-Jitsu has impacted my life in every way possible. I started as a young teenager, and it changed the shape of my life. I'm not sure who I would be or what I would look like today if I hadn't started it. Just from a physical fitness side of things, it's been my job my entire life, basically, between competing as a professional and teaching and running classes. It has created my life, and in some ways my whole life's based around it. I started teaching Jiu-Jitsu maybe a year after I started. It was a long time ago, and there weren't that many people, experienced people. And just within my coach's gym, I'd be the first person to show people the basics when they showed up at the gym. So someone that was there on their first day, and I'd be the one asked to go show them just some basic stuff. So I got a lot of really early, really basic teaching practice in, and I did that for many years. So that by the time I opened my own school, I'd been teaching the basics, probably 2 or 3 times a week for years. I started WAMMA in 2003. It was a hard start in some ways, in that I'd broken off from where I was at and started with a group of white belts. I had about 8 consistent guys from the beginning, but starting from scratch. And I was concerned at the time that maybe I would stagnate having no high-level training partners. From that first 2 years of training, you bring guys up from the very bottom. I realized that my game did improve. Not only my teaching, but my rolling and putting myself in bad situations with lesser experienced guys, and sort of rounding out people by being a body for them really developed my game. And I found I was much better after spending that time with these brand new guys. I think my teaching style is on the basic side of things. I focus a lot on sort of some core positions, the submissions, and really encourage people to build off of that with their own styles. Jiu-Jitsu can't be a cookie cutter type of art form. I can't force my personal style on anybody else. And I think just laying a good groundwork for people and allowing them to just explore and trial and error things, and then helping them with advice more so than telling them start doing this or start doing that. I think people need to develop their own personal style. I try to make sure my students get at least a sample of everything in Jiu-Jitsu. I have a pretty basic curriculum that I follow for everybody, and we repeat fairly often. The WAMMA environment is a relaxed place for the most part. I think we keep good discipline and safety, which are, sort of the top things, but it's fairly free form. We don't have a very set system of bowing or anything. As long as you're respectful to each other, I'm pretty easygoing with everything. The typical class, for a grappling class anyway, at WAMMA would be come in, do a light warm-up, We usually a little bit of pummeling, some very light stand-up stuff. We can't practice a lot of takedowns, especially in the beginning, until people learn how to move and fall properly. Do some instructional stuff on takedowns, maybe 1 or 2, and then go to the ground. And we do 2 or 3 technical kind of moves on the ground before rolling. This last couple of weeks we did mount, holding mount, getting to mount, escaping mount. So each class should sort of overlap slightly with the previous one, but then add a few new things for people who are there. WAMMA has a really strong competition history. We have a lot of guys competing in grappling tournaments, and we have a really strong MMA program. We have a lot of guys who have amateur fights. Every black belt that I've given in Jiu Jitsu has also had at least one mixed martial arts fight as often as we can, anywhere we can, really. My vision for WAMMA is that it keeps expanding in not only enrollment, but more so in classes offered, that we can hit more sort of diverse markets. Like recently we've started our women's classes that are doing really well. It's like my current goal is to get our women's team really strong. If you're looking to get into Jiu Jitsu, I would suggest trying out some classes, trying out as many classes as you can. Find a gym that is a good fit for you, and then stick with it. I really think the older I get, the more I think people should take it slow and steady and not overdo it. Jiu-Jitsu can be hard on the body. I think less is more in some cases, and coming in, learning some technique, rolling a bit, but not going hardcore until your body's ready for it. But really finding somewhere you're having fun. The only thing that matters for whatever you're doing, for whatever you're learning, is having fun. And if you come somewhere and it's not fun for you, I don't see why you'd want to continue. If you're interested in trying any classes at WAMMA, check out wamma.ca. It's our website, and come down. We have free classes multiple times a week just to come and check out, see if you like it.